Hey, welcome back to another episode of FSIDFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm Mr. Mike Brewer 31. We've got the Charlotte 600, longest race of the year. Should be fun and exciting. Weather looks good. A day into night race. Race of endurance should be pretty cool. Memorial Day weekend, a lot of cool paint schemes. Just want to say thank you to any of you who have served in the military, are currently serving, or families that have people, veterans, all that. Everybody that's fought for our country, served our country, gave up their life for our country to make this the place that it is and give us the freedoms we have. I'm very um, passionate about that, and hats off to all of you. So let's have a good racing weekend here. I can't really look at practice data if you're trying to, because William Bryant's run out in Group A, and then Chase Briscoe destroyed, or Chris Briscoe destroyed his car in Group B. So it just like there were cautions. They didn't really run too many long runs, so we'll see what they get. And there's a lot of chance for these cars to come um, to and make adjustments and stuff. And even if there aren't incidents, like there's been like anywhere from like Russians have been high teens here just because the race is so long. And we saw with the Xfinity race, like the track can, as the tires fall off here, I don't, the Cup has like a little bit of different tire, but Xfinity, they said you need to really make it up in the first like 2 or 3 laps on those tires because the fall off is just incredible after that. So it's not like the old Atlanta, but the tire wear is definitely going to be a thing here, and for sure tires are definitely going to play. So if somebody is able to keep some and have some fresh ones like Chase Elliott did in the Xfinity race, it's going to make a difference at the end. So I think you're probably looking at a 2-3 dominator build just because there's so many laps here. There's with the 600 is 400 laps, so it's almost like Gainesville or like a short track. So you got to think, like 2 to 3 dominators, lots of fast laps there. So you really want to get a share of like people in that range, and then probably throw in um, some value plays to make it work. So let's talk through this. Ty Gibbs, starting on the pole here, looked really good speed wise. I think he's definitely a cash play here. I think he can go out and dominate early. He's got a great shot to win this. His first win in Xfinity was here. Nothing but good things to say about him. Really strong play. Byron has been decent here too, but I think he's like an upside dominator and more of a GPP play. He's had some good runs, but the finishes haven't been exactly great. But I think he's got to be considered in play here. I just like the plays better, so that's why I think he's more of a GPP than cash. Bell, I gotta give him a GPP. He always qualifies well. He wins polls and stuff, but he can never finish. He always ends up hitting the wall or something. So could this be the breakout one? Could this be the one where he gets it done? Absolutely. Anything's possible. But I think more likely than not, he's going to have issues, trouble, something like that, and just be disappointing. So I can't even consider him a dominator play here. Truex has been always been masterful in these day to night tracks. Always run well here. Gibbs Con, I think he'll be very chalky, and I think he'll definitely be out there leading some of this race. And is definitely a cash dominator. Chase Elliott, even though he won Xfinity in the Cup car, he hasn't been great here. I know he won like a 1.5, I think it was at Texas. So I mean the potential's there, but it just overall in this new car hasn't been. So I got he and his teammate Bowman. I just think they're GPP plays. I don't see him as dominators. Chase at 93 would have to get some dominator points and fast laps to pay off. Bowman wouldn't. He just need to stay in the top 10, but I don't know um, if that's the case here. I think they're great FanDuel plays, but on DraftKings, definitely going to be just GPP plays. Chastain has been up there, been as another potential cheap dominator, 82. I like this here. The only reason that he's the orange one, which is more GPP than the purple one, which is the cash one, is just that he has finished races. He hasn't been horrible like in the 30s. It's been more in like the high teens, like just outside the top 10. And, it's a pretty stacked field here. But I think that, the fact that he could get some fast laps and get up there and have some speed and have the potential to stay in the top 10, I think you got to consider an 82. I like the price point. Reddick had do a ton of adjustments on the car afterwards. He's penalized. He's going to start in the back of the field, and he's going to have to do a pass through penalty lap, which means absolutely nothing with 600-mile lap. With 18 cautions or so out of him, who should easily be able to get up in the lead lap and um, definitely be able to uh, have the speed to get back up through the field. And which could lead to some fast laps. If I was him, I might just maybe even if knowing that he's gonna be in the back anyways, I'd start off on like scuffs if he can from like qualifying, whatever, if that's allowed, and then save an extra pair of stickers for later on. I'm not the crew chief, but I think that'd be a unique strategy. So I'm going to do a GPP here. I don't know if he's got it to be a dominator. He might be a UDOM, but I think I'm more so a GPP play. Um, Potentially have a couple sprinkles of them in my builds, but I don't know if I'm going to be playing a lot of them. McDowell at ninth here, starting way too far forward. He qualifies well, but his average finish is somewhere like in the low teens, so I can't do that even at 69. And there's so many like really good cars here. I just don't think he's gonna be able to hang in the top 10. Larson and Hamlin by far have been the best on 1.5 mile tracks. Like he has 2 wins. He's contended for wins in other ones, but just the fatigue factor from him being in Indy and trying to run the 500. And the weather in Indianapolis isn't really going to be great too, so that might be delayed or so. So he might even make it here and he might score 0 points. So be very, very careful, Larson. Great GPP play. I think it'll be very popular just because people want to see him win the double and everything, and he's been so dominant. But I think it's a kind of a borderline dangerous play for me. Hamlin, Dominator, definitely should get up there. Love the place differential that's built in, like 10 places if he wins this race. Um, has been super solid here, super solid in the 1.5s. Nothing but good things to say. Bubba Wallace has had the upside also to get up there and have the speed to be a dominator. Hasn't had the best finishes either. It's a similar situation to Chastain, but you're saving about $500 here, and you have more place differential and safety built in if he doesn't make it. So I think I considered him being a cash dominator, but I think he's definitely an upside dominator and someone to consider. And you really want to build with as many of these guys as you possibly can that could potentially be dominators. This next range here between Barry, Suarez, and Bush, I think they're just all GPP drivers. They qualified well up here and to make it into the top 15, but none of them have had the speed here. I think Kyle probably has had the most history, but most of it was in a JGR car. Childress hasn't, and we all know, like last week, they're going to be like watching out there for Stunt House to wreck them. I think there's been so much talk and highlight on it if he does that. I mean, wreck him that with it's not going to be there's gonna be severe penalties for Stenhouse, but I think it just draws to light how much like Kyle was like run people the wrong ways over the years. So again, and this was struggles. I just think of the GPP play. Blaney, I like as a cash. I don't know if he can get up there and be a dominator, but sure. I mean, he really did well dominating this race last year. I think he led the most laps. The only thing is, like, it's an all-day race. Now, Ford has come a long way since last year and since the beginning of the season with the extra horsepower they found in the engines or whatever. Hopefully, we don't start seeing them have like penalty after penalty because they did something illegal and NASCAR finally figures out. Hopefully, there's something on the up and up. But I think Blaney is definitely in play. There's some place differential there, so um, considered putting the purple dom on him, but I guess I have to because if he doesn't have any dominatory points, I don't think he's going to pay off um, the 10-3. So I'll give him the purple dom for that. Cindric, like this guy's been averaging like 30 place finish at Charlotte, so I can't play him here. He's got to be a fade. Briscoe, GPP, probably averages, finishes about where he's starting, but I just don't see a ton of upside. Gregson, yes, like he's always been good on tire wear tracks, ran well here in Xfinity. So, and he's had one of the he's averaged just outside the top 10 on these mile-and-a-half tracks all season long in consistency. So I think he's a strong cash play there. Hocevar and LaJoy, I think, are both GPP plays here. I think, they probably could finish where they start. I see a little bit of upside, but not a ton of place differential points. So in finishing position, I think they're solid, and upside for place differential, I don't really see it that much. So we'll have to see. Haley has been really good this season, surprisingly with Rick Ware, but I just think he just didn't look good in practice, and I just can't do it here. I think he's gonna fall to the back or fall down a bit. Denhouse, I think after last week is really motivated. This has been one of his best tracks. I don't think he's gonna go out there and wreck Kyle as promised, but do you think people are going to stay away from him and give him more room and leverage and stuff because they're afraid that if they accidentally wreck him, that he's going to wait for them in his pit, in their pit, and show up like Monday Night Raw after the race? Maybe a little bit of factor. But the other thing is like they've made this track like it's narrower than other like 1.5, so it doesn't have the space, so it makes it a little bit more dangerous. I think drivers know that. It's nice that they got rid of some of the grass a couple years back, so it's not you don't lose the front of your car if you get down there. It's more of like an AstroTurf surface now, so that helps. And I think Stenhouse is one that's going to use every inch of this racetrack like he tried to at um at North Wilkesboro, and is can be aggressive and get up there and make his way up to track position. Again, I think people, if they see him in the rearview mirror, is like, this guy's crazy, and if it's not worth the battle, yield a little bit to him. I think that's going to help a little bit place differential. Hemrick and Smith, I really don't like either one of them. They've just been slow all year, and I think that they're gonna fall back a little bit, so not interested. Jonathan Nemechek was great here in Xfinity and in tire wear tracks and everything, but he always ends up with issues. So until I see some consistency, this is the closest I came to putting him in with a cash tag, but I just can't quite do it yet. I need to see consistency to have some floor for cash games. Austin Dillon has not had consistency at all this season. Well, on this track, he has. He's probably a top 15 car consistently in the next gen car overall. So I gotta actually not feel good about playing him, but feel that he has the floor enough to be played in cash here. Logano, it probably should be a cash play and probably be very chalky here with the upside, but this car was like he said was like has a lot of work to do on it. And throughout the course of the race, maybe they'll get it right. But we saw Logano struggle at Kansas and say that he didn't like the car and stuff. And it's another 1.5 that's kind of comparable. And he ended up finishing, I think, in the 30s. He just couldn't, like, we all played him thinking, oh, he's going to figure it out. And sorry, my voice today just keeps on going. That he was going to have like the place differential, but I just don't. And it never happened, and I can't play him in cash because I think that might happen again here. Jimmy Johnson, we all love Jimmy Johnson to succeed here. He's been amazing at Charlotte. What does he have, like 7 or 8 wins here? But it's not the same team. It's not the same car. It's not the same guy. Like I always say, when it comes to Jimmy Johnson, you got to watch Men in Black and put up the red pen where that makes them forget like their memory and resets it. Like, you gotta do that with Jimmy Johnson, and look at Jimmy Johnson, who he's been since he's come out of retirement and come back to race for like legacy. It just hasn't been pretty. And I don't know. I'll probably have a couple shares of him in GPP just because as a punt play, just in case. But it's probably gonna be my highest like risk variance lineup, just because I just don't trust it. Kozlowski, like this play down here too. Definitely not a 30th place car. Should have some place differential, should be able to figure it out, should be able to move up. So like that here. Priest GPP, I believe he's the one that flipped and had the really bad wreck last year here. So I don't know if that's going to be his mind. He just has struggled this season. It's been the worst Stewart cost car. So GPP to fade for me. Harrison Burton, we're going to need some punts. Like borderline fade, but I gave him the GPP benefit of the doubt here. Kaz Growler, same thing. I don't. There's some other cars that are starting in the same price range that are starting so far up, like that. If they fall down, they're going to hurt you more than Gralla is if he loses 7th place and finishes dead last. So I think he's in playing GPP as a punt. Eric Jones really like. I can put the prime tag on him just because I don't know if he's 100% back, and Legacy has been disappointing, but he shouldn't be a 34th place driver. My two prime plays down here, Gillian and Sandman Ginsberg. Again, Van Ginsberg has been slow, but it's a trackhouse team. They should be able to figure it out. He should be able to he's been good with races of like attrition and being able to get up there. So I think at 55, he's my a solid punt here. And Gillian has been so solid this season too. I can both see them trying to get up in the top 25, 10 place differential points at their price point. That's what I need. And they give me the salary I need to put in my cash lineup and the floor to be able to get some of these 10K guys in that I really, really want up top. BJ McLeod, I think you can play his cash. He can only lose 3 place differential points. He has struggled to stay on the lead lap, yes, but he has won multiple lucky dogs in these races. He's always been there. He's been able to, and before like his team shut down and he kind of fell out of NASCAR, he had a very solid start to the season. He was actually like top 30, knocking on the top 25 from starting the back each week. So I think that's still there. I think he's kind of figured something out. And I think that racing not every week might be detrimental, but also might be a positive because they're able to invest resources in certain tracks instead of trying to do too many things and be too spread out. So I think that he's solid. Ty Dillon, I think there's some upside here starting down here, but I think again, I'd rather play McLeod at 200 just for what I've seen. Um, it is a collie car. It's a major team. He should be okay. It's borderline cash play, but I think it's going to be more GPP. Busher backup car. The shop's only a couple miles away from the track. It's fine. It's probably as good as a primary car. Um, with some of the primary cars that are struggling, they probably were able to get this one dialed in. I think it should be fine. It's a long race. It should be solid, and I think he goes no place but up. So I think it's good chalk at 8,500. I like it. It's better than having like a 10 or 11K guy back here. I love the price. And like playing those three primes really opens up the salary to get to like some of those 9 and 10K guys in that you really want up top. And then JJ Yaley would just purely be a punchy repeat play. So that's what I got for you. I'm locking in these place differential plays in the back, and then I'm going up top there and trying to get as many dominators that I can um, in my cash lineup. And in GPP, I'm probably sticking up with some of those other ones and then mix in a little bit of place differential for them. So I got for you. Hope you have an amazing holiday weekend. The weather's good for you. Get some time with family, friends, relax, and enjoy a really nice race tonight. So if you have questions, put in the chat below. Hit me up Megaro31 on Twitter, formerly X, formerly Twitter. Yeah, one day we'll just call it X, or maybe we'll go back to Twitter. Who knows? But you know what I'm talking about. So, and if you want to get more information outside DFS, go to the description of the video. In there is the link to our website. It's $6 a day to play all the sports. It's not that expensive. So that will give you NASCAR. That will give you WNBA, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball, Sunday Night Baseball. Ton of stuff there. So what I got. So hope you have good luck in the contest. If these videos help you, again, help us back, like, subscribe to our channel, and share with your friends. We have hit 4,900. We're only 100 away from 5,000. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please help us that final extend to the mountaintop to get to 5,000. So that would be really awesome if we could do that by the end of the year. It's obtainable. So please, if you haven't subscribed yet, do that for us to help us out. So thanks for watching. Good luck in your contest. Have an amazing weekend. Once again, thank you for all you who have served our country, and I'll see you next time.